Hey, good evening. It's the 4th of February 2026. And you saw the title. It's another market sell-off today. This is, I call it a sell-off, but it's actually still selling off in parts, really. So if you look at, I'm going to share my screen now, but first and foremost, I hope everyone is well and you had a great trading day. But let's see what happened. So let's just share my screen quickly. And then I can solid background white. Okay. Like I always say, only price pays. Price tells you literally everything you need to know. And we'll look at the cues now. Then if you can all see my screen. Yeah. So looking at the cues right now, what's going on? Trading view. Okay, so if you look at the cues today, oh, how did that happen? Okay, let me bring you back all the way. Oh yeah, time frame changed. Okay, so oh, goodness gracious me. Let's just have a look and see what it was. I think trading views it's hanging. Okay, I think it should be okay now. I've just refreshed it and it should be fine. So let me share my screen once again. Kind of feels like I'm not ready, but I have actually been ready, trying to look at this. Again, it's going to be a very short meeting and we shall see. So I know people don't like the black background, hence I want to delete the black, or sorry, I want to swap the black background for the white and let's see. Okay, boom. But I've got to say it's a bit laggy. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I think 2 days ago I said there was inflows on the markets, and that was the reason why first of the month we had a jump in the market. But yesterday it was a sell-off. Today it was it's been another sell-off today. And as you can see, based on what the cues are saying, the cues is showing us that, there's no reprieve yet. And I've been talking about this level for a while. The market's been hanging on there and it's not, it's just wouldn't release, it wouldn't let it go. So that's what we had in the market. Okay. And another thing here is the fact that so it's actually sell off in beats, really. We did say this the software is a lot is really, really hated. But one thing I've got to stress is, is software really, is this really the end of software? I don't think so. Even Jason Wong Johnson Wong doesn't think so either. Doesn't mean it's a gospel, but I'm sure he's in a better position. But how did Nvidia perform today? Speaking of the hardware, but because the sell-off was in parts, but even the hardware was also affected today. Let's look at Nvidia. Nvidia had a huge collapse yesterday. He had more collapse today. But first and foremost, so yeah, another 3%. But let's look at some of the. So I'm going to look at the good. I'm going to look at the bad. So Palantir was not getting a reprieve at all. And you got people who have been doing a FOMO into Palantir, and today's actually one of the days where the market say, well, I'm going to take it all back. And look at all that. It's just been collapsing 11%. That was a huge disaster on Palantir's part. Again, we have food as well. So I think the market is looking at, there's a general consensus here. Anything at all, as long as it's got to do with software, market takes it. I don't know if market is also looking at Bitcoin as a software because Bitcoin just just hasn't had a day, a great year so far. I know it's still second month into the year, but Bitcoin has actually been printing a horrible pattern, and it just goes right there. At some point, touches 96 and right back down. Again, okay, hello. I'm just looking at anything. So one thing is while it looks like there's a pattern to the sell-off, one thing you got to understand is while it looks like there's a pattern to the sell-off, but the common denominator is that there's no consistent sector to what's been selling off. Look, Credo as well. It's another one. Credo, which is a great, great, great company, I would have thought. But again, if you look at it, common, it's a what? It's a tech company selling off. Weight it's gone from 213, it's been cut into half. We looked at Duolingo, which I mentioned in the group, that is going to go below. I think I said this was going to be below 190, and you can see that right there. Now, struggling at 116. Um, Quite a few ones which I didn't name, but ONDS, Iron, this is guys which we thought were going to be powering the data center for the AI hardware. Look, ONDS collapsing, Iron as well. And it's quite funny, they all double digits collapse today. CRML, criminal, critical metals, which is supposed to be, you know, rare resources, rare metals. But again, market is taking it all back. PayPal yesterday was a disaster from the earnings. Did it continue today? It did not do much today in terms of reprieve. Look at that, forming a huge, huge detailing right there to the bottom. Um, NVO. NVO, they unfortunately had a poor earnings. That was yesterday, 47. And of course, we had Uber. I mean, people are still taking Uber, but the markets just said otherwise, and it just collapsed. So that's not the bad side. But one thing is there's a common denominator with the good side. And if you look at the home builders today, they've actually, I think for the past few days, been having a great, 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 great rally. You know, it's I mean, where is it again? Home builders actually done 12, oh my goodness, 12% year to date. So that's a great one. And what do we see? I could see um, LGI Homes, for example, today, and it's been printing and printing. It came right back from the base. I did talk about I think the restaurants as well, which has actually been, this has been doing so well. It kind of feels forgotten, but it's been coming up from the base. This one of them. I also talked about the chemicals, The chemicals are one area which I have actually been looking at as well. And look at that Dow. Dow has just been impressive from a low 19, but that was last year, but it's kind of doubled, or not doubled, kind of time and half. It's done one and a half, but that was in 4 months. Also, I think one thing people need to look at as well today. Today is the day of how do I call it? Hardware and solar. Look at that ENPH. I don't even know how TAN is doing. TAN is an ETF for solar. I've been talking about this since the low 24, and now it's at 58. Also, as a result of Enphase, you can see Solar Edge as well going on. Printed a good 13% today. There's quite a few of them as well. I think Colm as well, which Columbia Sportswear Company. I'm not sure if this has a part to Nike, but Columbia Sportswear is another one. But SMCI, speaking of hardware, SMCI had a great, great earnings yesterday, printed at 13. I think this has been really, really unloved. And again, this is a hidden gem form factor. I didn't think, I just saw it. And look at that, that was after earnings. It did an 18%. But anyway, that on the side, we also had Google did an earnings. I didn't really get into the details of the earnings, but it doesn't look like markets was accepting it very well, very well. And I did say it was bearish before the earnings. I didn't really see much to it. And of course, Snapchat as well. I didn't see much to it. Well, I did say it was going to pop and then dump. It's like a pump and dump, really. So, the best way we played this was via CFD. So overall, I think, let me see what earnings we have tomorrow. If you have some bigger names. So earnings been okay in parts. I didn't actually look up how Eli Lilly performed. Eli Lilly is also another earnings today. It's one of those notable ones I have for today, and ADV as well. Um, yeah, Eli Lilly. Oh, look at that. It's a huge 5% sell-off. Like I said, I think I mentioned this yesterday. I said it's gonna just get an energy drink when it was pumping yesterday, and I expected it to. Well, as you can see, NVS. I don't think I have a dog in this fight. NVS. So NVS is, yeah, fairly muted. It kind of feels muted. And AbbVie. So overall, I think I would say, a lot of people tend to look or get stuck to what they trade, but sometimes you want to look into size so you want to look around so you can see and watch how money is rotating. Don't get stuck to what you know alone. And of course, if something gets too stretched, be able to take it out and just leave. You're not stuck. Even just like ARM, I've been looking for ARM dump for a while. I've been calling it for a while, and you can see right there. Some people will say, yeah, at some point you'll be right, but I don't think I was too far in here. So an ARM is literally almost divided by two since last year. So there you go. I think it's GSK, this MCK as well, but we'll leave that. But anyway, tomorrow, let's see if we have anything interesting tomorrow. Tomorrow is the Thursday. We have 162 companies. Oh God, tomorrow is a big one there. We have Amazon, we have Shell, we have Linde as well. Linde, I would thought that should be a great one actually. So Amazon is not doing much. Shell as well. Shell is. I mean, oil is a great, great one. Not that I'm playing it. And then BMY, I'm just looking at the ones I might play, if at all, or the ones I think I have interest in. Bristol Myers is, the should I call it the health tech or pharma. It's in beats. Some are doing great. I think health tech not great, pharma great. But again, in part because ask NVO or Novo Nordisk, not great at all. So it depends on. But Linde, I think, is the one which is I think that's probably the hidden dog because if you understand Teradyne, that's what Linde is. If you understand Air Liquide, that's the sector where Linde is. So if you're gonna play anything at all, I'm gonna be looking at Linde as a play just because of what he does and. That's about it. So the earnings is tomorrow. But again, there's nothing here which constitutes financial advice. But until then, guys, I hope I meet you safe and well tomorrow. You trade well.